Well, we're back for another one.
We are. We have kind of see when I heard that there when it makes you hairless. I was going to reach out and grab my wig and put it on.
Oh, ha ha.
That's something we should maybe offer, like a hair treatment, like a hair treatment plan through Bald and Bonkers, because it might make our guests and viewers lose hair.
Oh,
You know,
let's not do that. There's already enough people getting sued because of the health products they're putting out.
it would amaze you. I mean, I know a story. See, I had a grandfather. Obviously, everybody's got a grandfather, but except for you, as you were growing on the moon somewhere, weren't you? But anyway, do you came out yesterday to stop his baldness, but it didn't work. I think it was just a ploy so as he could keep the bottle in his truck. He was a coal lorry driver, and he used to rub rum onto his head.
Rum?
Yeah. He used to keep a wee bottle of rum with him, and he used to take it out, and he used to rub a wee bit on his head. Didn't take fun. Honestly, that's what he did. This is back in the early 60s. I think it was just an excuse so he could get away with carrying a bottle of rum about with him.
Yeah. I don't know what to say to that, really.
Well, I suppose it keeps away the midges. It keeps away the flies and all that kind of stuff. Because you don't have midges out there, and you care what I'm talking about for you Americans.
Yes, we have midges. What do we call them? Like chi-chis.
No, I'm not talking about.
Not midgets.
No midgets, Drew. I'm talking about your Grandpa Bell. I'm talking about how he used to actually rub rum into his hair. I can mind his wife telling me that. It didn't work. He didn't use it for long.
Well, maybe he didn't use it enough. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
you never fucking know.
No,
you never fucking know anymore. I mean, fuck those, like those Prime energy drinks. You know, people are freaking out because they realize that there's fucking chemicals that from raincoats in them.
No, did you see? It's Forever Chemicals. See that Forever Chemicals? Mm-hmm. One bottle of Prime, the new Prime that's out. One bottle, and we don't want sued, by the way. So this is no advice. Just take it for somebody else. One bottle of Prime, right, contains 3,000 times the chemicals, right, in it that you get in a lifetime. So it's 3,000 lifetimes of chemicals in one bottle.
Well, I'm hoping that Mike Tyson pummels his face in.
I mean, that's horrendous. I see
I know, but
the FDA and all that are investigating it and stuff.
What the FDA really needs to step up their fucking game, because you could probably associate 90% of modern health issues within the world, especially here in the U.S., because people are trying to cut corners, make cheap food products, but by making food-like product. Like how there's fucking baby food that was supposed to be cinnamon. Supposed to be cinnamon flavor. The cinnamon was fucking lead.
No, did you see the Nestle again? This is no health advice,
fucking
and it's
Nestle.
nothing to do with Bald and Bonkers. It's to do with the mainstream media. If you want,
allegedly, that the key word is allegedly for this type of stuff.
Allegedly, that see how in the United States and in the UK and all the kind of the countries that don't have like poverty and stuff like that, but they have poverty. The bottled milk is like pure powdered milk. But see, when it comes to India and Pakistan and bits of regions of China and Russia and stuff like that, 80% is sugar.
Oh yeah. And you also got to take into consideration Nestle. Now, on the surface, Nestle tends to donate baby formulas to like their countries, several African countries that don't necessarily have access to clean water.
No.
In order to mix the shit.
No.
So several babies ended up dead because they're drinking contaminated water supply in their formula. Yeah. To which Nestle still profits because they're trying to buy out all these bad water places, Flint, Michigan, and basically just trying to monopolize on a basic human right and need.
For my brother in the chat, what's wrong with supplying sugar? Well, for a start, sugar in baby formula is not a very good thing to have.
No.
And baby formula is meant to have like minerals and vitamin D and all these kind of other things to help a baby grow. No, get them addicted to sugary products so as they can start buying Kinder eggs and things made by Nestle.
But if you actually just look at all the shit Nestle actually owns, man.
They own Cadbury's chocolate. They own Cadbury's chocolate now.
Yeah, I
Kraft. They own Kraft too.
yep.
They own a lot of stuff now. I mean, even a lot of the fizzy drinks industry is owned by
I
Nestle.
mean, hell, since we had our chat with Samuel Chong yesterday, makes you really kind of think about everything that has been going on. And Drew, it really depends on the type
Aye.
of sugar that's being supplied.
Yes. Yeah.
Different sugars have different properties.
Mhm. You got to remember, we're talking about a baby that's like a week old here. It's not as if
Yeah.
they've got to be doing the London Marathon, you know?
If we get babies start doing that shit, God.
Well, there's all this genetic research and all this coming on.
Well, there's been some weird stuff going on with kids lately, and it's just for some reason there's been several kids, especially since the pandemic, that have actually come out quite advanced for their age.
I mean, it's quite interesting. But I was watching a thing the other night about it and about how they can actually grow humans in pods.
Oh
You seen
yeah.
that?
Do you realize who was one of the biggest supporters behind that?
Bill Gates.
Who? No.
Who are we
Worse.
talking about here?
Worse.
Oh,
One of
tell
the
us.
biggest people that wanted to invest in those
No.
was Epstein.
Oh, for God's sake.
Now, granted, those pregnancy pods, they could be helpful for families who struggle with fertility issues for whatever the reason may be. But Epstein was very much interested in those.
See, reportedly, and I'm saying this reportedly, and this may be fiction, but what I've heard is the Chinese have been doing this for a long time now. They've actually been cloning people
Oh yeah,
for a long time, and they're experimenting with like super soldiers.
they've been doing that for
yeah,
at least since the 60s, if I remember correctly.
yeah. They say they're
So yeah, the fucking Chinese beat us to Captain America. What the hell?
I see that. See, you and I can this is not allowed to happen in certain parts of the United States and stuff, but I bet you that they're doing it. Right now, there's a lab somewhere deep under a mountain somewhere, and they're doing it.
Well, it's not really surprising. One of the major obstacles with cloning, especially since, well, you're in Scotland, Dolly the sheep. The problem
Dolly
is,
sheep died. That she's gone now. She's away to the sheep heaven.
well, yeah, obviously. But the thing is, when it comes to the clones, those clones are essentially born from at the age whenever those cell samples were collected because of the telomeres on the end of DNA strands. That's one of the biggest issues with it right now. Plus, I think, what was it, like 3 or 4 of Dolly's clones had the exact same medical issues as her?
Yes.
Had like arthritis?
There's actually talk out there that there is drugs out there that can prolong life to into your hundreds to keep you young.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't use it. I mean, I was thinking about this, that I was a conspiracy theorist was talking about it on YouTube, and why all the elites and that. But if it's really all the elites, you look at all the elites that's died lately, right? Why did they not get this treatment?
Because their supplies run low?
But what do you mean the supplies are no? What is there somebody out there trying to stop them? Like,
There's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes that people don't realize.
it's quite
But
interesting.
think about it. Think about it. We have all these conspiracies, allegedly YouTube, allegedly God, getting fucking in trouble with YouTube when you try to do something that promotes suicide awareness and all of that because people are so fucking sensitive these days. Anyway, allegedly, well, think about it. You have these major trafficking rings, all this real nasty shit going down that's starting to come to the surface, right? And that's when all of these major elites believed to be major players are dropping.
I've noticed that. There's something odd going on. I've noticed a lot of world leaders, a lot of world big people in the world are just dropping like flies lately.
Yeah.
Was it Klaus Schwab? Is Klaus Schwab? No, he's still alive. Who's that other one? The one that was he helped the Nazis against the Jews. He was Jewish. What was his name? What? I
It
think he
wasn't
passed
Klaus
away.
Schwab. It was
No, it wasn't Klaus Schwab. It
affiliated with
was
the Nazis. It was his
he was
father.
friends with. I'm sure it was. It's this. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was still alive no long ago, and I'm no long ago, which is a couple of months ago, 6 months ago. George Soros. Thank you, John Morris. George Soros. It's really interesting about him. He actually worked with the Nazis. He was a Jew.
Mhm.
And you ever seen the Schindler's List, the movie
Mhm.
Schindler's List, and you had the Jews that wore a certain patch that helped the Nazis find the other Jews. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they say he got a lot of his money for too, because he knew where the gold was hidden.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
very well common practice.
Allegedly.
And people in those extreme circumstances, their very survival is threatened. So it is amazing to see how quick people will turn against their own family, their own neighbors, in the purpose of self-preservation. Did you just hear that?
What?
Right as we were talking about that, it almost sounded like radio static coming through.
I thought I heard like a CB radio crackle.
Yeah.
It was like,
Either that or smell, or it sounds like you're doing cocaine over there.
no, or Drew. I don't know. I'm blaming Drew for this. He doesn't. But he's into that film Convoy. He's into that film Convoy, and it was weird because the day I was watching a clip for Convoy, maybe it's the ghost for Convoy's past. Roger,
Oh,
Big Daddy, or whatever your name is. You know.
okay, careful how you say that.
There's people that are right into Convoy, like Drew, for instance. He sits for like hours and end just watching it hour and hour again, as if he's like addicted to watching Convoy.
Oh, he's gonna start going off in the chat, isn't he?
He is, but I'll see him tomorrow after the dentist. Got the dentist tomorrow, Drew, so you can
You
make it
gonna
for with
get
me.
drilled, baby, drill.
He's
You know,
what's that? He said he was going on at me saying that I should brush my teeth and all that kind of stuff. I do brush my teeth.
no, yeah. I got to thinking. I thought it was kind of funny, considering we got to talking about drugs and how it affects people's auras on the show yesterday.
Yeah.
On 420 of all days.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say this, Mr. Samuel last night, he was glowing blue. I could see the aura around about him. And I don't know if anybody else could see that. But he was glowing blue.
I don't know. I could see it faintly. I don't know. I kind of just wrote it off as just how the room he was in. But there was definitely something about him. That was an interesting conversation. I really need to get my hand on book. You're thinking now? Fuck you, Drew.
But that you've got to remember too, that book is very expensive over here. It's about 63 quid in the UK. I was like, holy shit. Son of the naked Bigfoot! What the fuck
dear.
is
What the fuck? What in the kind of knockoff Wizard of Oz do you watch?
Right, I'll tell you something, right? Everybody, Pete in the chat here, Son of the Naked Bigfoot, he needs 50 subscribers to go live, right?
We fucking had him there, but YouTube started taking some.
Yeah, YouTube taking some back off you. So everybody, could you please, the 13 people that are watching this, including, can you please go over and subscribe to Son of the Naked Bigfoot? Let's get him to 50 so he can go live for some weird location somewhere.
Here, let's go ahead and take the link for his channel. It's not letting me do it from the main chat in Streamlabs, so I'm having to go in the long way. God damn it!
I'll go to his channel too. View channel. Pete, you're a what do you call it, mod? You want to drop your link, man?
It's like, yeah, it should be a mod. And I'll just bring it up on screen. So I'm at a questionable and creepy truck stop in Arizona. Isn't that most of Arizona though?
Oh. There you go. I dropped his link really quickly there.
That's not a Yushi territory. Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers. They'll be eyeing you up the new Pete. You'll be sitting there eating your hamburger, and they'll be in the woods and the bushes going, "Our night snack."
Remember, if they sound far away, they're actually really close.
Mm-hmm. As long as you've got a good pair of trainers on and to run with, and you've got somebody with you that you can leave behind.
Yeah, be careful on your travels there, Pete. That's all we gotta say.
Be careful, Pete,
Anyway,
and don't get eaten by Bigfoot or a skinwalker. Do the skinwalkers eat you? Or did they just like mutilate you?
what the fuck was that on my screen side? Did you
But
just see that?
I seen a blur behind you.
No, I saw. I looked on my screen. It saw it was fading, green and all that.
What's that he put there? Oh, thanks for sharing the link. I'll make sure you're rewarded in the afterlife. Oh man, thank you very much.
It's gonna take the afterlife for us to get our hair back.
Thank you very much. If I can have anything, I want to see Dakota with a full head of hair. It's the least I could do.
I wish my beard would grow in a little better. But
And you
that's about
can't
it.
grow a beard. You're just a baby. You can't grow a beard like me. See,
Mine just
you see,
comes
you
in
can look
fucking
interesting.
patchy as motherfucker.
You can sit and stroke it wildly. Makes you look interesting.
Oh, yeah. Makes it look like you've just been stroking something else a little bit too much there. You're so lonely.
Pete's growing a beard too. What he was saying in Twitter weeks ago. He's thinking he's growing a beard, So anyway, back to the subject. What we're talking about.
Hey, what the fuck we were on?
We're talking about how amazing I was.
Yeah, no. Holographic hair dots.
Holographic. No, what you need is you need Simple Jack. There you go, Pete.
God.
I can't put this on right because it's too warm. Right?
I know.
It's too warm. There you go, Pete. I'll tell you something now. If I was with you, then the skinwalkers were running in fear.
Oh, Pete.
I've got the sound turned down so I can't hear you guys. Well, it was disturbing the
prostitutes.
Well, if that's what he's into, let the man have
I'll
some
make sure to
fun.
tell my sister hi.
I mean, holy shit, she's going to kill you for that.
Yeah, which one though?
But there you go, Pete. You need Pete. You need to get yourself one of these wigs. They're 100% pure plastic. They keep the rain off, and they keep the skinwalkers at bay. They'll be like, "Holy shit! Look at that guy there. Stay away from him. He's just got a paranormal hairdo."
Well, no. The way you had that sitting on your headset right now makes you look like a golden dick.
Oh, dude, why do you have a what's that? What's that? What is that? I can't even.
A tribble on your head. Why do you have a tribble on your head? Yes, that was a classic Star Trek reference. Because he thinks he looks good, Pete.
Hey, I'll tell you something. You're just all you guys out there that are bald. You're just jealous. That's
not really.
I'm telling you, you should see what I look like with it right on. Yeah.
You look like a golden tipped dick.
What do you mean? I think I look rather sexy, actually. You ladies out there, prepare yourself.
For the restraining orders, maybe.
It's casting that. It's casting. Dust on it, too. There we go. There you go, you Pete. Don't you worry, Pete. I'm going to leave that to you and my will. So if a skinwalker eats me,
starting to get fucking. Gotta go down that depressing shit again. God damn.
I'll be fine. I'm going to live to 3 million years old. If you stroke it, does it pop? I don't know.
What the fuck? Oh, so much for reflecting on the guests last night and talking about latest weird world events.
It's a fantasy for Pete. I've just left out his fantasy for him. Right, anyway, back to the guest last night. I bet he had never seen a wig like that before. On the ninth planet.
You realize that wasn't him
I
that
know
had the
it was the
induction,
guy that
right?
he was
Yeah.
doing it for a French. I know.
Well, no, basically the story was he was having issues with publishers, so Samuel actually tried to help him out.
Aye. Mhm.
Helped him get
What's
it to
that?
where it was a #1 bestseller in China and Taiwan, which is very difficult to do.
See, it'll help you root out the Klingon spies.
More
Kapla.
like the spies that would rather start slapping you with strap-ons.
Kapla. What is it? Kapla was it the old Klingons? I'm a Star Trek fan, Pete. I'll have you know. I know all the Star Trek things. He isn't. He's not into Star Trek. We don't say the word Star Trek to him because he doesn't believe in that stuff. Anyway.
And who was it that made it to where we could get where we can promo Shatner's new movie on the show?
That's fair. That's fair as you. Well, William Shatner. Can't hear you. Just watching your reactions. Anyway, the guest last night was absolutely. I would say he was one of the best guests we've ever had for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, he found us through the video I did with Tony Rodriguez, and apparently they did a couple speaking conventions together. No, I'm glad I reached back out to him. That definitely gave you a lot to think about.
Mm-hmm. I liked how he was talking about ancient. Would you call it what was the land that existed in the Pacific?
Lemuria.
Lemuria. I mean, there has been stuff found in the Pacific, isn't there? I mean, there's been like buildings found under the water, like ancient pyramids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something that I found it so interesting about how he was talking about Jesus, how there was two Jesuses.
Well, that's actually been a well-known theory that the whole resurrection may have actually been that Jesus had a twin that not a lot of people knew about.
Mhm.
That was one of the theories that was out there. Whether or not it's true, we'll have to wait till the day of the time. God.
I just couldn't help myself there. I had to bring that up for Pete. You know, I mean, like as Dot says in the chat, near Easter Island. Has there ever been like a decent search? I mean, a paid search with all these like billionaires out there to look for this place, to see what is left out there.
There's been quite a few searches trying out there, but for fuck's sake, man, there's some people that try to say Ireland is the leftovers of Atlantis.
No, it's not.
Speaking of dots. No, that's an
It's
actual theory
not.
that's out there.
I've heard that, because you've got the. I've heard that, but
I saw that
there's
myself, and I didn't know about that until recently. I'm just like, the fuck?
where's that in the Pacific? I can't remember where it is. It's either in the United States side of the Pacific, or it's so in China side, and there's meant to be like a road that goes out underneath the water, and people have dived it, and it goes for like miles and miles underneath the sea, and they think at one time it was like a highway. I was watching a program. It was Ancient Aliens. I was watching. I think about Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, there's quite a few structures down that way that seem to be a little too neat for natural occurrences.
It's like the one where the divers they dive these pyramid things under the water, and they try and say that it's natural, but it's made out of big blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. But it would make you wonder what kind of cataclysm would actually cause that.
Major
I mean, it must
meteor.
be epic. Aye, but come on,
Major.
sink into the sea.
Yeah.
Is that like poles flipping? Is that like the poles flipping?
Well, poles flipping, that would cause some electromagnetic anomalies, and there would be huge amounts of UV radiation that would hit the surface of the planet. But the flip would only last a few minutes at most, is what they believe.
I can't help it, guys, in the podcast world. But don't worry, I'm sure Dakota
Between
will read
Chris and
out
Pete.
Pete's message.
No, it's like
Stay safe.
it's turning into Pete's private show. God.
But it is, it's stay safe out there, Pete, and don't get eaten. But listen, it's quite interesting though, because I liked how he talked about how the asteroid broke into 3 pieces.
Oh yeah.
And it makes you, why did it break into 3 pieces? Was it by design to do that?
They break apart no matter what when they're entering the atmosphere. It's very rare for a major chunk to survive landfall.
But what I'm saying is this, right? We had these people, as at Lemuria, it was called, right? We had these people that were highly sophisticated, they had anti-gravity vehicles, they had they knew everything, right? So why, and they were meant to be extraterrestrial race, right? So they could obviously fly about that. Why did they not stop the asteroid?
They couldn't.
So where did they go?
That's where places like Mount Shasta come into play. There are some survivors that are still about. They went underground. They're Telosian.
So that's where they are. They live under the earth, basically.
That's the story.
I mean, if you start going down this road, if you start going down the road to the inner earth and that, do you believe in that kind of stuff? Do you believe that there's an inner earth?
To some of the extent, like say how you would see in the newer Godzilla movies, just as
Yeah.
a pop culture reference.
Yeah,
I
like
wouldn't
cavities.
I wouldn't necessarily say that it would be that elaborate, but who knows?
It's to think
Some
that
of
I
the thing
find it.
some of the anomalies have been coming up lately within mainstream science, as well as just some of the phenomenon that's been well known about for several years now. You really have to think about it.
I've got a new subscriber in there. Who's that? You were broadcast over larger
Mhm.
platforms. You are on what, the Spot 11? What's Spot 11?
I don't know.
Must be some network thing or
Johan,
something.
we're actually broadcast out to like 50 plus different channels, man.
Hey, Lawrence!
Lawrence!
Lawrence, you were getting married today, weren't you?
He was getting
Lawrence was
married?
Mm-hmm.
I was not aware of this. Congratulations.
Congratulations, and have many years of happy marriage.
Make sure that the bonds you tied her up with, aren't too tight,
Pete in the chat, he'll give you some techniques and tips. But anyway,
He'll
never mind
send
that.
you a supply of
Mm.
paranormal lube for the honeymoon.
Pink handcuffs and stuff like that. But so under Mount Shasta, some of the relatives or some of the
Not just Mount
survivors.
Shasta. That's one of the major well-known spots, but it's quite a few of spots around the world. Allegedly, I found this is something that's supposed to be like a map of inner Earth entrances, at least here in the U.S. And if I'm right, and if this map isn't total BS, there could very well be an entrance that's not too far from where I was abducted.
That's interesting. That, I mean, I find it fascinating, especially all the underground cities, especially the moon too, because I think there's something. I don't think, and this is my honest opinion with the moon. I don't think the moon is 100% hollow. I do think it was hollowed out at one point. Some of it's hollow, some of it isn't. I think there is a civilization that was there. I don't know if they're still there or not. But there's an interesting question for you in the chat. You can take that one because you know more about this stuff.
Oh yeah, Valiant Thor, very real guy. That wasn't actually his name. That's kind of the miscommunication on the Earthlings' part. But not very active these days. I do believe he's actually retired now.
Wait, is he?
No, it's like on it. Well, some of the luckier ones when it comes to his particular species can be about 900 Earth years.
Need to get him on the show. Valiant Thor, if you're listening or whatever. What is his real name?
He just goes by Valthor.
Val Thor.
And he only
Because you
talks
just
to
said
certain
obviously,
people.
come on and talk to us. I think that
He's
would
not
be
on
quite
Earth,
interesting.
dude. He's not on Earth.
He could come down. He could come down in the spaceship. We could park it out in
No,
your backyard.
he's retired. He don't want to deal with this bullshit. He wants to be with that good-looking wife of his.
I will say this, I have noticed lately in the world that there's weird stuff going on, obviously with wars and rumours of wars and that, but I've noticed that the elites that used to run this world, they're getting thinned out.
They
Have
are.
you noticed that? Let's look at the Queen. I ken the Queen of the UK. She was old, right? She passed away. She was thought to be like a reptilian or something like that. But look at the King. He's not been seen because he's meant to have cancer. But then look at Kate Middleton. She's disappeared
for
off the face of the earth.
also alleged with cancer. But you also had to take in consideration that's where a lot of the discussion about the little the little video that came out about it not too long ago, does show a lot of the markers of it being somewhat computer generated or completely deep faked.
Yep.
As well as some of the family photos that have been coming out that were just a lazy Photoshop job.
Yeah.
All the extra hands and all that. It's like, come on, that is amateur hour. What kind of teenager on Fiverr did you rip off?
I'm going to say this now, right? Everything is not what it seems right now. And it's the same with your president. It's not what it seems right now. I think he's got multiple body doubles out there. Multiple body doubles.
Allegedly, it has been common practice ever, I believe, since Reagan for the president to have body doubles for main purpose for press interviews and things like that. But as well, they have also been known for alleged assassination attempts. You also got to take into consideration Mr. Biden has shown a lot of signs that he has either had a major stroke or has the onset of dementia. And why is it that the president is being restricted on speaking out about certain things? Why
is it?
It seems like there's moments of lucidity where he starts to admit that something's up.
And why is it that they were coming out about the UFO disclosure and now they're backtracking on it?
Oh yeah.
Something is definitely up. Something is good. I think there's a secret war being fought right now behind the scenes.
Well, there
And
is.
it's a war. I think it's the good against evil right now, and I think the good's winning very slowly, but they're winning.
I wouldn't necessarily call it that black and white, but the side we want to win is winning. That much we can say.
What's that? Valiant Thought is still active under Lake Geneva, recruiting children and educating evil within the God-sent light beings. Geneva is the eye of the. I'm mere spiritual stuff, ghosty stuff. This is your kind of field.
Well, excuse me.
This is your kind of field, man. When it comes to
fucking allergies tickling the back of my throat. You need to be careful about what alleged information you go to preach because not everybody's telling the truth. There are several individuals out there taking advantage of the fact that the people aren't able to physically validate certain information. So there is a lot of misinformation being allowed to spread about because one, people are lazy about checking facts, and two, they just count it. The elites have counted on that for quite some time.
Yeah.
My mentality where people don't try to follow the motions of the crowd rather than the self has been a major player in all of this. So be careful who you trust. I will say in regards to that.
When it comes to space and when it comes to the Federation and stuff like that, there's only really two people I follow in that, and that's Elena Denain, obviously UT, and Danny. That's
second of all, why would these? And here's one thing I do want to point out. I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm just wanting to point out something very obvious. Why would these individuals who are under a military obligation give away information about their operations that could be used by the enemy to completely infiltrate and bypass any sort of progress being made? That is something people need to realize. Why would military operatives give out crucial information?
Exactly.
Especially if the operations are still active.
It's like a secret. It's like a secret spy for the FBI has infiltrated the Russian mafia, and they've brought it out in the news to say that infiltrated the Russian mafia kind of thing. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
they
that
wouldn't
dude's gonna
do
be
that kind of
dead
stuff.
within 24 hours, especially when
Aye,
dealing with the Russians.
aye, they wouldn't do it. I'm very careful now in what I watch. I'm going to say that show that Elena did the other night was absolutely fantastic. What she did the other night. Danny Tay, well done. I watched your show, Tay. But see, it's TikTok. TikTok is really bad for it, man.
Oh
TikToks.
yeah.
There's people on there saying, "Oh yes, the Greys come to me last night and they told me we must serve them," and everybody's like, "Oh, the Greys are amazing. The Greys are amazing." I'm sort of like,
That's another thing. A lot of the
"No, you're not
terms
gonna-"
when it comes to like Greys, the Nordics, things like that,
Mhm.
those are the thing is, if you really sit back and think about it, that is such a generalization on our part. There are Greys that are on our side, the ones that work with us. If anything, their personalities can be kind of compared to people on the autistic spectrum. Maybe that's where it originally came from. Who knows? But already seeding bias against beings that are supposed to be coming
Mhm.
down here within the next couple of years, allegedly. And what's the last major play for one world government? False flag alien invasion.
Yeah,
So if they're already planting the seeds for a potential bias against these ETs,
yeah. I've noticed that a lot. I have noticed that a lot lately. It's like there's people out there, especially on TikTok, and they're saying that the Federation and all that's a myth, and they're actually their enemies, the great ones, and the great ones are saying that don't follow these people and all that. And I'm sitting there watching this, thinking, "Oh my God, you guys are brainwashed. You're brainwashed." But then you look at it, and there's inconsistencies, right? I'm getting quite good at pronouncing stuff, but
inconsistencies, yes.
inconsistencies. Sorry, I'm Scottish. I can't help it. But what I have noticed is it's as if I've noticed some of them lately are but then they'll go backtrack. I think they're just talking out their arse to make
Mhm.
money. They're just making all this bullshit up. They're just
Especially with,
making it up.
I mean, how many different apocalypses was supposed to happen within the last 10 years?
Oh my god.
And
Oh
every
my
single
god.
time these people pushing these narratives are having to backtrack.
What's that there, knowledge within? Please screen share the picture I just sent you on Telegram. Let me go and have a
Oh,
look
what is
at
that Lewis up to now?
what you sending me, Lewis. What you sending me.
Lewis.
Okay, I'll need to phone it because I
Hello.
just hang with my phone. I'll need to phone. Where's the old Telegram now? Let me have a wee quick look here, Lewis.
All right. What kind of porn did you send him now, Lewis?
Ah, right, very good, Lewis. Very good. It's
Do we
I'll
need a
send
blood?
that to the. No, it's
Oh,
WD-40, and
oh
it's a funny
God.
one.
Are you back on about the WD-40 lube again? God, if y'all
Lewis
actually
loves his
knew how to please a
WD-40.
woman, maybe you wouldn't need to try to
Oh no,
improvise on.
Lewis is married. Lewis is a married man, but he loves his WD-40. You can get WD-50, but you didn't ken that.
Lewis must be a
It's,
very funny man. Anyway.
he is. He's an awesome guy. Lewis is
I
awesome.
know, I know, I
Everybody
know.
loves him.
He knows I'm teasing. I tease with
You know.
love, I promise.
But look, I'd be very careful what you believe in TikTok, especially TikTok. I mean, there's a guy in there saying he was for the fifth dimension. He was wearing a copper triangle on his head. You seen the guy I'm talking about?
I think I
He's
know who
bald,
you're talking
completely
about.
bald. He's completely.
Yeah,
He was
if
for the
it kind
fifth
of looks
dimension.
kind of looks like he's trying to imitate Aleister Crowley a bit.
Aye, aye. And he's for the fifth dimension, and he had a copper triangle on his head. And I was like, I just couldn't stop laughing. I just couldn't stop laughing. And then there's folk on there. There's folk on there that just talk them as utter pish. I
I
mean,
know.
utter pish. And it's totally against the Federation. All that. Oh, they're bad, and they're actually here to invade the Earth and enslave us all and make them work for us down their mines and stuff like that. And I'm fucking hell. There's so many people out there that just talk shit all the time. But see, that's
I
weird.
don't know.
We talk the truth, and we don't get many subscribers, but they talk passion and get loads of subscribers.
Yeah.
It's the same when it comes. It's the same when it comes to Elena. She talks the truth. She talks about what is really going on. But people don't invite her to go on like Ancient Aliens and stuff like that to get her side of the story. See where I'm going with this?
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to say this to now. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of UFO people out there that I thought were good UFO people, but in actual fact, they're only in it for the money.
Yep. Only in it for the money and fame, and it goes to show when they start to make fun of others online.
You ever seen that series called Resident Alien?
Bits and pieces. Yeah.
Who's that famous UFOologist that's in it now?
Yeah. Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Yeah, I seen it the other night there. I was like, for fuck's sake. Okay, I mean, come on.
I mean, it's not uncommon for big names in the UFO field to make like guest appearance on shows like that. Who's that little short bald one? That old guy UFO chasers. You can watch it for free on like the Roku channel, I believe. But he's done several little cameo appearances on UFO based shows.
I don't know who you're I can't know who you're talking about, but I can't mind what he's called.
He always kind of talks like this.
All right, I know who you're talking. I know
Yeah,
who you're
he has
talking
kind of
about.
a bobble in
can't-
his head.
He's got
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean
So the
he's
aliens come down.
he's very animated when he speaks. I mean,
There's a lot of UFOlogists out there that I've seen in that Ancient Aliens, but you don't see them anywhere else. And they're good at what they talk about. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few of them on Elena's shows, but I do think there's a lot of fakes. As I say, there's a lot of fakes in the paranormal world. There's a lot of fakes in the UFO world. What's this, Dakota?
just here, I'll read it. When you live in truth, you are free. Valiant Thor is 3. He goes on above the standard because he was sent to release us from the deep state. Have you read the books Stranger at the Pentagon? And I imagine he ran out of character space. But yeah, you seem like a decent individual. God, this was almost a couple of years back, but look back on some whatever channel you're listening to us through. Look up one of the interviews we've done with Craig Campobasso. I think you might be interested. He talks a lot about Val Thor and stuff like that. We've had him on the show a couple times. Awesome dude. He's a Hollywood casting director who's real big with MUFON. He's been involved in a lot of projects. I think you might get a kick out of that one. So,
he was also one of the casting directors for June.
the original one.
The original one, which is, I'll tell you something. I'm looking forward to the new June. I've seen the new one, but then I'm looking forward to the new one where he takes out Arrakis and stuff. That they say it's meant to be absolutely fantastic. I'm waiting for Netflix to drop that. Yeah,
that's what I keep hearing. Yeah,
and I knew I was right, Mr. Campapasso. I knew I was right. See when we had Mr. Campasso on, I said to him, I says, see the guy in that film, what do you call it? You see the guy that runs off at the end, and I says, and he went, oh no, he get killed, but he's in the new one. He survived. So watching that backtrack, I get I was bloody right.
Anyway.
The book of Bald and 11. Ken, I've actually got that book, but I've not read it. It's on my iPad.
Vrill's a very interesting topic. We had Dan Willis on who talked a little bit about that, as well as the power generators.
Anyway. Not evil reptilian vile drone, it's evil. Right. So I mean, when see this is what really annoys me. The Pentagon come out and all that about this UFO disclosure, but now they're like tightening it all up again.
Yeah, no, I noticed. What's his name? The dude that runs the Black Vault.
I can't he's
actually secured through Freedom of Information channels that David Grush apparently he's stood up some of the committees that he was supposed to be meeting with when it comes to disclosures. So there's a
Why
lot of weird backtracking going on, man. Something's up.
does that mean that they're slowly getting assimilated, as one would say?
It's hard to say without getting a little bit closer on the inside, but kind of like Mr. Chong was
Yeah, we
talking about. Whenever someone who doesn't play in the same game as the elites manages to get through, they're either quickly weeded out or shot down.
Just look at President Kennedy.
Look at what why everybody's wanting to watch Robert Kennedy right now. Make sure he
Yeah.
doesn't end up dead.
I mean, I'm going to make a prediction here. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Trump is probably going to get her back in, right?
We'll see what happens.
The world is in a total mess. It is in a total mess. But I don't know who could do a better job. Maybe Robert, that Kennedy guy, if he becomes president, good on him, But somebody's needing to stand in and stop these wars, stop all of them before it's too late.
But that's the beginning. That's the problem. So many different companies are so well invested within government contracts. They want these wars to happen because it
Just
makes them more money.
money.
You have weapons traffickers who also profit off of this because it's cheaper for these companies to just make new guns instead of the militaries to clean up their mess.
Who do you think the biggest weapon, like, say, you ever seen the film Lord of War with Nicolas Cage?
I don't believe I have.
You want to watch that movie, right? It's based on a true story. Who do you think the biggest black market gun supplier is in the world?
The US.
Yes, the US. That's what they do.
Oh, yeah.
So you think about this sense, the US is supplying probably Russia to fight Ukraine, but they're also supplying Ukraine to fight Russia.
Mm-hmm.
You see where I'm going with this? But at the same time, they're supplying North Korea, right? They're supplying China. China's probably supplying everybody's. This is all connected.
Oh,
You
yes,
see
I
this in
remember that
Europe.
movie
Everything,
now.
yeah, everything
And
in
that's
Europe.
starting to hit me.
And this is I'm going to say this very true. This right. Putin is getting classed as the enemy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is he? Is this no just like a weird way to make money for both sides?
Putin flat out admits that both sides of the fight, ever since the Cold War, have been engaged in war of the propaganda. And
Yeah.
he full on admits that the US is very good about it. About spreading
And
propaganda about who they want to be the enemy.
exactly. And that's a good segue to talk about Samuel last night and how he told us about good news. I've not had a chance to look it up yet, but don't believe the mainstream media. Don't believe a word that comes out their mouth.
Exactly.
I've seen stuff and I'm like, that is just fake. It's like all clips for years and years ago that they're just playing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there could be things happening in the world right now that we don't get told about whatsoever.
Yeah, because it wouldn't generate views. It's all about the views. It's all about the viewers. It's all about the money.
Yeah. And
That's all it
true
is.
it's true what Samuel said last night. The US just prints their money. Print it out
I
of
know.
nothing. The more money they need, they just print it. They print. That's all they're doing. But eventually, it's all going to collapse. It's like a house of cards. It's all going to collapse.
But then the more you have of something, the less valuable it actually is.
Yeah. It's like the old
basic supply and demand.
It's like the ruble. It's like the ruble in Russia. Before Russia collapsed, when Russia collapsed, there was there's an old story goes. I don't know if you've ever heard about this story. And food was skyrocketing prices, right? Because Russia was Soviet Union was collapsing, and a woman got a wheelbarrow and filled it with money. Right, and you know what I'm talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
And she taken the wheelbarrow money to the food court to get food, and she came back out and all her money was lying, but somebody had stole the wheelbarrow because the wheelbarrow was worth more than the money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You see where I'm going with this?
And it's even funny. Lewis even brings it up. There's a lot of people that speculate that crypto was if, essentially invented to try to crash the
Because
current not economic
Mhm.
format. Because let's face it, they say the current world wealth is based upon only about 5 to 10% physical money.
Yeah.
So
In the
obviously,
US,
technically, we already have digital currency going on right
yeah.
now, as it is. And crypto, allegedly, the main
Mhm.
individual behind crypto, allegedly, according to quite a few sources, is Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, I've heard that. And you've got to remember what does the US how does the US make so much money? And this is where they get it for right. They're superpower, the world's biggest superpower, but not for much longer because
No.
China's growing, and the same with Russia. And they use that to get their money, but it's not just that. It's gold. It's the gold standard too. But America doesn't have much gold left anymore. See Fort Knox, it's empty. Fort Knox is empty, right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
This is what people don't realize. A lot of the gold was stored in New York. I can't remember in the vaults in New York City. Do you know that the vaults are nearly empty
Mm-hmm.
now? And the Chinese have got the biggest seemingly amount of gold in the world, or something like that. But I'm telling you something right now. I bet you because this is all this CBD system they're want to bring in the UK and universal credit. They want to bring this universal credit in. It doesn't matter if you've got a job. It doesn't matter anything. You'll get like 1,000 credits a month,
Mm-hmm.
right? Into your universal basic income.
Mm-hmm.
But I was reading up on it. I was watching a few things about it, and it's quite interesting because see if there's another pandemic and everything you use is digital, they can restrict you. So if you go outside your town and go to buy something, you'll not be able to buy it. You see where I'm going with this? And it's control. It's like New World Order. It's control.
Mm-hmm. Fuck,
I
they can
think
all
something's coming.
technically they can already do that now. People don't
Well, I did.
realize that banks can easily seize all your assets right now. Just
I'll
with
put it this
the
way.
universal credit system, it's just going to make it easier.
We'll put it this way. About a month ago, I went to put gasoline in my car, and I had cash on me. And there was a queue of people, and they're like, "Oh, we can't pay for our fuel because the PIN thing was done." So I went into the store across the road for it, and they were only accepting cash. The whole village was accepting cash because the digital currency was done. I mean, that watch that I've got, that Apple Watch and all that kind of stuff. You just point it and it goes beep, and you've paid for your stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that's a fantastic thing, right? But is it? Because they could say, right, oh, there's a pandemic. You're not allowed to travel 5 miles from your house. You're not allowed to buy anything. Oh, you're buying too much chocolate. You're buying too many cakes and stuff like that. You've been that's you're helping pollute. You're not allowed to buy that. You can't buy any more fuel for your car because you're polluting the climate. You've had your monthly allowance. You see
Yeah.
where this is going? Control. George Orwell, 1984.
Well, unfortunately, they would have to improve the infrastructure for a lot of states that are west of the Mississippi because you'll say like east of the Mississippi, you have about 80% of the U.S. population, whereas say like here in Idaho, you have
Hmm.
to drive. Some places you have to drive 30, 40 minutes away from where you live just to be
Yeah.
able to buy groceries
Hmm.
because it's simply not there. And we all got to talking about electric vehicles and all that. Sure, they may be nice here,
Oh,
but they
they're
may be kind of cool here. But the second we get a good snowstorm,
and yeah, they're
they're
shit.
they're they're storage cupboards basically with wheels.
Yeah, they are. And look, I think, and it's Samuel did say this last night. He said we are needing to unite, and the whole world's needing to stand up and say no more to this. We need to
Hmm.
change our ways. And I would say don't do it violently. But I was revolution wise, I would do it as
Don't be.
peaceful as proper, as
I
peaceful
know.
as possible.
Oh, dude, did you hear about that guy in New York? His
Is that
body
why
was
it set
just
him to
barely
fire?
identified. That set himself on fire.
I heard about it. Never watched it though.
No, do you see what was his last message to the world before he did it?
No, what?
Start the fucking revolution. Start the fucking revolution before setting himself on
Yeah.
fire. He was trying to make himself a martyr to try to bring up a violent revolution. And unfortunately, let's face it, things may get to a point of last resort where violence becomes the only answer because it's the only way to actually get attention. That's why these situations escalate.
We need to stand up soon because if we don't, everything's going to go. It will be like George Orwell. I'm telling you this right now. We've got about maybe, what would you say, Lewis? What would you say in the chat? Because he knows quite a lot of this. I would say 3 years, no even that. You get 3 years, no even that, 2 years before it all
Here's
comes
the
to an
thing.
end.
But here's the thing, though. We've said it before, and I'll say it again. It doesn't matter how this unfolds. In order to build the new system, because of how deeply ingrained all of this trouble is, it has to come down in order for
Of
something
course
new
it
to
is.
be rebuilt. It's gonna come down no matter what. It's just a matter of whether or not we actually can actually put aside our petty fucking differences, actually sit down and have conversations with one another and come
It's
together to actually fix this bitch.
yeah, it's like the knowledge within in the chat says there. Look, we need to take, and this is you, take the entire system down. Everything.
Everything will.
The financial system, it has to collapse. It needs to collapse. Everything, the governments, everything need to collapse and then restart again. I'm not saying one world government. I'm saying there should be like an order on the earth where like one member for every country is like in it kind of thing, like a Senate kind of thing. You know where I'm
And
going with this.
here's the thing, though. When you really think about it, say the day comes, ETs go to reveal themselves. Because, say, like, according to sources like Elena Denon, we're in a 50-year prohibition period where we have basically prove ourselves that we can integrate into intergalactic society. There's
Mhm.
going to come a point where we're going to have some sort of global representatives to deal with diplomatic meetings. When you really think about it,
I do think there's going to come a point too when they say, "Oh, these aliens that have come down to kill everybody," they're no really, and everybody needs to stand up and stand alongside the aliens and say, "Listen, you're not shooting these guys. We're standing with them. So if you want to kill them, you're going to have to kill us too." Eventually, the military. There's militaries in this world. There's people in the military in this world that are even considering switching sides. It's getting that bad now.
Mhm.
It is. Our leaders are
it is
destroying
going to
everything.
it is going to get chaotic. Let's face it.
I'm going to say this too. I do think we do need like an open borders policy. I think we should be free to travel anywhere on the earth, free, and without discrimination, because that way we can all live together, right?
Exactly.
We need to learn and see. Oh, you'll get these people out there. Oh, I'm an Englishman and I don't like this and I don't like that in my country. Look, we need to live together. But look, them that's watching us far away, the aliens and stuff like that, want us to start working together. Can you imagine if we put aside all the wars, we stopped killing each other, we started building space stations, we started building fusion power plants, we stopped killing each other. The aliens would
Hmm.
come down and help us. They would come down and help us. I do believe that. They would come down and help us.
Hmm.
They can't until we start working together.
Hmm.
And I definitely think if all the people on the entire planet rose up against the world regimes, if the world regimes turned on us, I definitely think they would just come down and help us. Getting that?
It probably would.
Hmm. I
It probably
definitely
would.
believe that. But it only takes one person to start a revolution. It only takes one
Exactly.
person.
Why do you think so many individuals get targeted when they start to speak out about this type of stuff?
But you could see. Here's the thing: you can only take out a number of people. But if everybody's in it, everybody's screwed.
Exactly. It goes to bring into consideration a lot of these individuals that do try to target people, harass people just because they express views that might be different from their own.
Mhm.
We've seen it quite a few times. Yeah, do these people realize there is a literal psychological phenomenon known as the Barbara Streisand effect,
I've
where
never heard about
the
that.
se- oh yeah, I brought it up on the show once before.
Mm.
It's where basically people will start to get curious when they hear something's trying to be repressed, kind of like Boeing whistleblowers all of a sudden blowing their brains out.
At 1 hour and 30 seconds into the show, your voice changed there to something weird.
Oh, really?
Mhm. Mhm.
Anybody else hear it?
Did you hear that voice? It sounded like a Cylon.
Mike's back.
Mike, we need you to go and visit all the world leaders only wearing your clogs.
First off, those people would probably get turned on.
That's
Just
probably
think
true.
that through, brother.
You better watch yourself there, Mike, man. Oh, there'd be terrible things would be doing to you. Look, we need to rise up and we need to do it soon. And Ken, something, if it means people going to jail, if it means people, they can only put so many in the jail. If they arrest the first two, then the first 200, and then there's 2,000, and then there's 2 million. What they got to do? Put everybody in jail.
Oh, that would be free slave labor here in the U.S.
But they can't. See, that's the thing. See, there's a lot of I definitely think there's a lot of soldiers would turn on their own. You seen the new series that's coming out, Civil War?
Yeah, I saw that.
I think that's the world's heading that way. It's going to implode. It needs to happen. We need a revolution. We need a revolution.
They do. We
We
do.
need to clean out the old. We need to get rid of the people that's caused all this bother. I mean, look at this, the elites, the secret societies, like Samuel said the other night, last night, the secret societies, the Rockefellers, look at them, right?
Oh yeah.
Just- We need to drain the swamp, as Trump would say. And I say that's the new Trump. He's a nice guy and all that kind of stuff. But how do we know that he's really on our side? It could just be one big game. We need new government, totally new government,
Mhm.
and they need to stop this. But it's money again. It's money again.
Yeah.
We need to get rid of money.
A lot of these people, when it comes to election times, especially here in the U.S., because I know the rest, hell, even you in Scotland like to watch the
Oh, I do like that.
American
I like
elections
watching
like it's the next big reality TV
I
series
like
lately.
watching folk freak out like the last one with Donald Trump. The first time he got in, there was all the feminists were rolling about the road with froth coming out their mouth and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's just like just saying where the rest of the world likes to watch American politics like it's a fucking reality TV series.
Yeah,
People don't realize both of those sides work for the same motherfuckers.
yeah,
They work for the same people, but at the same time, politicians when they're campaigning, that's their job interview.
yeah, yeah.
And does
So
anybody present who they actually are when they're trying to land themselves a new job? Not really. They try to make themselves look proper, look best, look
yeah,
like they're part of the company image already.
I'm going to say this to now before you jump onto your video and your thing that you're going to be releasing. I'm going to say this to now. There's a small group of people in this world. You know who I'm talking about, Dakota.
Oh yeah.
And they run everything. They decide who's going to be prime minister. They decide who's going to be president. They decide. And when it comes to Trump and all that, he's a nice guy and he'll probably end the wars and stuff like that. But be careful because it could be an illusion. It could be smoke and mirrors. It could be working for the same people. You don't know. That's why we need to drain the swamp, as Trump would say, and get rid of everybody. I don't mean like kill them or anything like that. I just like fire them and replace them with like a different way. How does it work in Alien World? So across it, how do they like? have governments.
If these individuals show they genuinely want a second chance, they're given the opportunity to prove themselves.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they're dealt with pretty severely.
Mhm.
I will say that much.
It's like in Star Trek where actually alien races are presidents of the Earth and stuff like that. Maybe that's what we need. We maybe need somebody else to come from a different world to be our president of the entire planet for a couple of 100 years. I don't know.
Allegedly, they
Until we
tried.
can.
You got to look back at some of the mythologies, especially within like Sumeria, Egypt, places like that. They kind of started it that way.
Yeah.
But eventually, it's like I've said on a few interviews that I've done recently. The Earth is often seen like that one relative who always seems to get themselves in trouble because they expect everybody else to clean up their fucking mess.
Yeah.
But the more they're given that attention, the more people come in and try to save them, they don't learn the fucking lesson to better themselves.
I'm
They're
going to say
waiting.
this, but
The aliens are waiting for us to pull our heads out of our asses.
I'm going to say this to you. See if society did rise up. You know, it would be a good thing for the internet to be shut down for 6 months.
Oof. Now that's
Think about that.
that'll incite a revolution. But then
Yeah.
the majority of people wouldn't know how to fucking operate things.
True, but it would put a cog in a spanner in the cog. You know, was that I met Trump's cousin, the oldest child of his uncle, who is Tesla's friend.
Who
Attempted
was
to grab
Tesla's
his.
friend? That it's like you remember.
That's right.
A lot of Tesla, when Tesla died, a lot of his technology was seized by Donald Trump's uncle.
Yep.
I don't know. I just found it kind of funny that little historical fact took place, and
Look,
it's right around when Trump was in office that this ET stuff started getting kicked in the high gear.
you know, Trump could be an alien for a planet where the sun comes out too much. I don't know. Get what I mean?
No, that's not why he looks like he's been bathing in Cheetos.
Come on, he's got a rather good tan, I must admit. He's got a fantastic tan, I would say. Like, he would blend in with the
It comes out of a bottle.
I'm surprised nobody's done a song with Donald Trump and Oompa Loompas.
I'm fairly certain there's a few out there already.
Oh God, they have the dude sentenced
Sedated.
Sedated to almost 24/7. So anyway, Dakota, do you have an announcement before the end of the show tonight?
No, I do. And this kind of goes into some of the more creative aspects of Bald and Bonkers. So this was kind of put together last minute. It's been something that's been kind of brewing for a while, but I didn't want to say anything until things were a little bit more secured, as one would say. But Bald and Bonkers now has its own band.
Yeah.
What'd you say, motherfucker?
So
what you say about
he playing? He's got a wee flute. Oompa, oompa, oompa dee dee. I have a song just for you. Oompa dee dee. There you go. Once we start, we can't stop us Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, Chris. Bald and Bonkers now has its own band.
Yep.
And this is going to go into how we're trying to, create music. Try to help content creators out there with all of our courses, the stuff we offer, stuff like that. We have a little bit of a trailer for you all. Why is it pink? I did not make it pink.
I can't see pink. I can see the end stream thing's pink. I can't see pink.
All right, we're gonna see if it behaves itself first, or if I had to bring it back up because I've had it. What can't headbang with no? Anyway. Anyway, some songs have already been underway, but let's see if this will actually work first off. Go, damn you!
The alien ship above your house watching porn. He needs to turn his Wi-Fi off.
All right, I may have to bring it up again. I was all good, trying to be good. Had it on standby since the beginning of the show, so that way we could just play it. But no, it's got to be
No, it's what you got.
fucking difficult.
Listen, I'm telling you. Tell them to stop using your Wi-Fi.
I can't
Something
help
watching
it. It's because of
TikTok.
where they park. It causes problems. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bald and Bonkers Network would like to present Starlight Amnesia. Remarkable individuals from all walks of life coming together to bring you the ultimate collection of original music.
Playing us like a tune in this crate.
From the highlights of everyday precious moments to the strangest of strange within the paranormal, Starlight Amnesia has the inspirations for it all.
Get ready for the twirl.
Be on the lookout for their debut album coming soon from Bald and Bonkers.
But I can't get no rest. All I want is nobody pressed against my chest.
What do you think?
I've just thought of something. That's really good. That I'll need to get some Velcro so as I can do some headbanging. You know.
See what you did, Dots. You see what you did, Dots.
Wow.
Yes.
Coming
But yes,
soon. Bald and Bonker wigs.
But yes, Starlight Amnesia. It was kind of a play off of how none of us can fucking remember what the hell's going on when it deals outer space. But
Well, I've got
a lot of
pills on my
variety in
neck.
music. It's tested well, so be on the lookout. We got it all. We're in the band now, baby.
There you go. I can just you got to dress as that guy out of Kiss, the lead singer. No, the kind of big shiny suit and all that kind of
No.
big
God.
bout and bolts in his face and all that kind of stuff, and big high heels. You know,
Some of the things you fantasize me in, man, it's a little concerning. I feel
everybody's
like I need to
got
get an
everybody
HR
loves
department.
Kiss.
I
Everybody
feel like
likes
we
Kiss.
need to get an HR department just to make sure
Come on.
we don't end up getting sued because of your mouth.
Everybody loves Kiss. Let's just face it. Everybody's wanted to, loves the band Kiss. You know, they really do.
What are you talking about? Mostly younger kids these days who just had their prom nights wouldn't probably even know what Kiss is.
That's right. I'm forgetting that you're just a young little bunny rabbit.
Hey, I know
in the field of
Kiss.
life. Mm.
Mother.
Mm.
Motherfucker.
It's all
Anyway,
coming out now. Anyway, it's been a good night tonight. So, do you have any shows this week planned?
no, not yet. The start of the brand new courses from Bald and Bonkers and the first episode of this new season of Franson Files will come in 2 weeks, as a matter of fact.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, if you want to learn about podcasting, follow Dakota. You know,
Yeah, everything will be available right on our main YouTube channel. Those of you who are members already have access to the courses before everybody else, so check them out if it's something you're interested in.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a fantastic week. I've got the dentist of despair tomorrow, so we come out with a big cordless drill.
Yeah. See what a 54-year-old man coming on the show with braces.
What do you mean I'm 54? I'm 42.
Okay, that's
Cheeky
right.
bucket. Cheeky
I thought
bucket.
I thought it was
54.
42, but I figured I'd throw something out there because you always try to say I'm 70.
What's that? Chris Can. I'm still trying to figure out how to tune my guitar right after being a musician for 34 years.
Well, Chris, if I could get started in the music industry after getting drunk in Rome one night, not a true story, you could probably figure out how to tune a guitar.
My family, I don't think it's my dad and my brother Drew. I don't know if he's still in the chat. They all play the guitar. I've got a Native American flute.
I've seen old pictures of you playing guitar.
Me?
You kind of look like a basement pedophile, but that's another story.
Where's the photos of me playing the guitar?
On your Facebook.
No, there's no.
Yeah. You had it like a cigar. You had a guitar in your hand.
Really?
If you didn't look like a basement dwelling pedophile, I don't know. You would probably look halfway decent.
I used to play the guitar, the electric guitar, years ago. I used to play like Ghost Rider on it and stuff like that, but I can't remember taking it in my picture then.
You did look a little like you were.
You sure that's no somebody else? My other brothers look kind of alike. I'm the handsome one out the lot.
Hey, had you not said anything, I wouldn't have believed you and Drew were related.
I know. Drew is a speciality in all itself. I think he's a genetic clone for the planet Zorn.
Zorn, huh?
Mm.
Oh,
Strange
God.
photo.
Anyway, we should probably
Yeah,
end the show
yeah.
before we go all too off the rails.
Right. Goodbye, everyone.
Much love. Take care.
See you next
See
week.
y'all next time.
I'm coming for you all.
Who's the one sounding like they're having an orgasm right now? Is that man naked in the fucking closing? What the fuck?
What the hell is that?
Ooh.